Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful morning out here. The sun's coming over the top of the hills. It's about 7:30 here our time. There's a red-tailed hawk here we was watching this, a young one up in here. That's pretty neat to see. But headed uphill. We put a deer stand up there, and my son-in-law Austin is up ahead of him. He just walked up around that corner. Just missed him. But it's nice out here. We've had rain last night, yesterday. Makes the timber nice and quiet. I know a lot of you enjoy this. Got a lot of good emails and phone calls and texts, comments. Just pretty cool to see that we all appreciate the same thing. You know, God's creation. And we know this is all temporary. And we focus on things above. Son-in-law is going on up. We put yesterday and struggled around and got that deer stand put up. It took a while. But that fog back there in that bottomland. Across over there's another, over this treetops back there. Then you see that hill behind it. Well, between here and there is a bottomland that we'll do a video in here pretty soon. It's across a creek and into the bottom of the 40 acres back that way. It's going to be a pretty day. I've got some things here in Titus I was looking at this morning and seeing where we was at. I've done a video for Sunday on the purpose of God, and I put that up on Facebook also. But to understand God's purpose ultimately is for all salvation of all mankind, and for all to be drawn back to God, so God will be all in all. And we find that truth in 1 Corinthians 15. But this is the last verse of Titus chapter 1. This is verse 16. And so it won't be long, and we'll be headed over into chapter number 2. Moving on through the book of Titus. So let me turn this thing around and we'll go uphill here. I can turn this without making a mess of things. There. And we'll go up this way. Austin has went on up around the corner, and we'll catch up with him. Seeing how many, we put new cameras out, catching our wildlife up here around the deer stand to see what's out there. Sprinkle a little corn on the ground, catch the critters coming up like the possums and the raccoons and the deer and turkey, whatever comes up will eat corn. Want to see what's out there. So that's what we've done. All right. Oh, that's pretty through there. All them cedar trees. There's not much grass in there, but deer like it for bedding down in there. All right, Titus 1, verse 16. And a handful of references that's going through it. Now these references I pulled only out of Paul's writings, because he's our apostle for today. And so we stick with that. You can find how he became our apostle by going through Acts, and you'll find where Saul was at the stoning of Stephen. And the garments was thrown at the feet of him. And then Saul was going to get the names of those that was following the way, the Jesus. And he was persecuting God's people. But anyway, you'll find that story in Acts and follows on through. And then Paul starts writing through a revelation. The risen Christ revealed things to him. So we'll find that in Acts. Anyway, right here on this spot up here, before I get long on this video and get this thing started. Titus 1 verse 16. They are avowing an acquaintance with God, yet by their acts are denying it, being abominable and stubborn, and disqualified for every good act. Lo, you are being denominated a Jew, and are resting on law, and are boasting in God, and know the will, and are testing what things are of consequence, being instructed out of the law. Besides, you have confidence in yourself to be a guide of the blind, a light of those in darkness, a discipliner of the imprudent, a teacher of minors, having the form of knowledge and the truth in the law. You then, who are teaching another, you are not teaching yourselves. Who are heralding not to be stealing, you are stealing. Who are saying not to be committing adultery, you are committing adultery. Who are admonishing idols, you are despoiling the sanctuary. Who are boasting in a law through the transgression of the law, you are dishonoring God. For because of you, the name of God is being blasphemed among the nations, according as it is written. Fond of their own gratifications rather than fond of God, having a form of devoutness, yet denying its power. These also shun. For these are those who are slipping into homes and are leading into captivity little women, heaped with sins, being led by various lusts and gratifications, and always learning, and yet not at any time able to come into a realization of the truth. Now, by the method by which Jannes and Jambres withstand Moses, thus these also are withstanding the truth, men of a depraved mind, disqualified as to the faith. But they shall not be progressing more, for their folly shall be obvious to all, as that of those also became. Now, all prostitution and uncleanness or greed, let it not even be named among you, according as is becoming in saints, and vileness and stupid speaking or innuendos, which are not proper, but rather thanksgiving. For this you perceive, knowing that no paramour at all, or unclean or greedy person, who is an idolater, has any enjoyment of the allotment of the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no one be seducing you with empty words. For because of these things, the indignation of God is coming on the sons of stubbornness. Do not, then, become joint partakers with them, for you once were darkness, yet now you are light in the Lord. Now, we are aware that the law is ideal if anyone is using it lawfully. Being aware of this, that law is not laid down for the just, yet it is for the lawless and insubordinate, the irreverent and sinners, the malign and profane, thrashers of fathers and sinners, the malign, thrashers of fathers and thrashers of mothers, homicides, paramours, sodomites, kidnappers and liars, perjurers, and if any other thing is opposing sound teaching in accord with the evangel of the glory of the happy God with which I was entrusted. And according as they do not test God to have him in recognition, God gives them over to a disqualified mind to do that which is not befitting. Now, by the method by which Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, thus also these withstanding the truth, men of depraved mind and disqualified as to the faith. But they shall not be progressing more, for their folly shall be obvious to all, as that of those also became. And that's the references to Titus chapter 1, verse 16. And we'll put that up. We won't get into anything through that. We're going to continue up our little walk, go up the hill here, get this thing around, show you where we're at. And since we're already 12 minutes into this thing, wow. We'll just go on up here and see what's over this ridge. How's that? Man, it's going to be a beautiful day. The sun's peeking through over here somewhere. It's coming through the trees. Thought I might have heard with Austin up there. If there's anything in the timber, he would have spooked it, and we could have heard it. But I didn't hear anything. So, anyway, thanks for hanging with me today, this morning. I think it's time we go see what God's got for us. Y'all ready? Sun's coming through. It's going to be nice today. Let's go see what God's got for us. I'll talk to y'all later. Grace and peace to you all. And thanks for being a part of our family. Talk to you tomorrow. I'll see you then.